Good morning, India. Good afternoon, Australia and Singapore. And good evening, US. So let's start the program with a prayer song by Kaavna of US, Australia. Kaavna, can you please unmute?
Yes. Ramachandra Raghuveera, Ramachandra Ranadira, Ramachandra Raghunatha, Ramachandra Jagannatha, Ramachandra Mama Bandho, Ramachandra Dayasindhu, Mama Bandho Dayasindhu, Raghunatha Jagannatha, Raghuveera Ranadira, Ramachandra Raghuveera, Ramachandra Ranadira.
That was divine, Kaavna. Thank you so much. And so let's start the program. Welcome on board, my dear buddies. We are privileged to have Mr.Janarthanan Babu, Class 1 Chief Engineering Officer, Mitsui OSK Lines Limited, Japan. A warm welcome to you, Babu. He is here with us today to share basic knowledge on shipping technology, sailing challenges, and sea trade. So before that, I would like to present his qualification and experience to you all. His career down the lane will be a true inspiration to all of you. Hailing from a middle-class family in a small town in India, his ambition was to reach pinnacle in career and settle down in a short span of time. So marine engineering was his choice, and it was a new field in his time period. But he was determined, and he confidently took up engineering in H&D Mechanical in Chennai, and he flew to Glasgow, Scotland at the age of 19 to complete his second-year course. He was independent enough to draft his career plan at a very tender age, and definitely it was not a smooth sail. He had to alternate between onshore and offshore to balance career and take up class-level incremental exams. And finally, he topped his career successfully at the age of 35 as a Class 1 Chief Engineer, which is the highest rank offshore. And now he's planning to explore offshore profiles as well. With 14 years of experience as a mariner and 93 months core sea time across different types of vessels, including oil tankers, container vessel, and product tankers. As a mariner, he has sailed through Indian, Pacific, and Atlantic Ocean and had his feet on almost all the continents, covering 50 countries. And I'm also proud to say that he's my younger brother and is my source of inspiration too. Welcome on board, Babu.
Hi, thank you. Thank you for the introduction. Hi all. Hope you all are doing good.
Can you give a good round of applause to him, guys?
Thank you.
Please, can you please share your screen?
Yeah. Start just now. Hi all. Very good morning.
Good morning.
Yeah. Emma? I hope you can see my screen, right, everyone?
Yes.
Yeah, I'll just give a brief introduction about myself. My sister is already. Yeah, I'm working as a chief engineer in one of the Japanese company.
Once again, we are not able to see your presentation. We are just able to see your screen.
But I'm just giving a brief introduction of myself. That's it.
Okay.
Right?
Okay.
Yeah. So I'm working as a chief engineer in one of the Japanese company called Mitsui OSK Lines, and I am in the gas carrier fleets. Actually, we are transporting the LNG gas from US to India. So that is the main trade that we are in now. So I think this is a very new. I think for all of you probably you must be having a lot of doubts how a seafarer's life is, how the ship goes, and the basic understanding of the ship. So I will just go through a brief presentation that I have so that you can understand. It's a very brief, so that I see all of you are very young kids now. So to your knowledge, I'll just give a brief introduction, and then we can move on. Any doubts you guys have, and anything you want to ask about the ship, the maritime industry, the sea trade, anything if you want to ask, just we can discuss over it. Okay. Banu, you're able to see the screen, right?
Yeah, we are able to see the screen, but not your presentation.
Still not able to see the presentation?
No, it is just a blank screen.
Just hold on. Blank screen on.
Otherwise, can you share with me?
Yeah, just hold on. Share to Banu.
I think your Mac platform, is it? Can you share it through Skype? Or how do you want to share the file? Is it a Mac platform?
Yeah. That's
I think it should be difficult for you to share. Is it? Otherwise, can you share it with me?
Okay, we'll do that.
So what is the mode? Is it through WhatsApp or Skype?
Skype.
What did you say I needed to talk about?
What do you mean by marine?
I think a marine is a person who sails a ship.
Okay. Who sail in the ship, is it?
Mm-hmm.
And I think good. I think Sachi also has something to talk. Meanwhile, Babu, are you sharing your presentation? Am I getting it? Yes.
Yeah, Banu, are you getting in your chat screen on my presentation?
Yes, I'm presenting it.
Okay.
Can everyone see the presentation? I think so. Can you start, Babu?
Yeah, okay. Please go to the next screen, please. Okay, guys, now why is maritime shipping so important? So you must not have seen many ships. You can see the lot of trades, all the things that you buy in your home, like anything and everything, like the fuel which your country is having, then any products which is coming from China and elsewhere. So how these products are connected, how you are getting in your place all the products that have been manufactured in different parts of the world. So here the shipping industry plays a very major role. So this is the industry that connects everyone from all over the world. So whatever you want, like you order something in Amazon, like you want something from the US, you want something from Australia. So how you're getting all this. So this gap is bridged by the maritime industry. Next screen, Banu, please. Yeah. See, the 90% of the products in the world, 90% is transported through the maritime vessels. So this is what is the importance. Just imagine if there is no sea trade. So this 90% of volume of the products cannot move, cannot mobilize. So this will basically put a big brake on the world trade. So this is the important. This is how big the maritime industry plays in the world trade. Next screen. See, this screen shows how the world trade has increased. In the year 1970, this much of tons, like 2605 is, you can calculate the volume, the tons of cargo being transported. And now 2019 or 21, this is much above 12,000. So it's quite a big of multiplication. That amount of trade that is going through the sea has been increased, and it is going to keep on increasing. This is the proportion will be increasing all in years to come. Next. Okay. So now you got a brief idea of what is a trade. Now there are different types of ships. It's not like only one ship around the world. See, these are the container ships, then the chemical tankers, then the bulk cargo carriers, then the gas ships, then the oil ships, then your car carriers, and then general cargo ships. So these are the different types of basic merchant ships. There are much more different ships are there, but that is much deeper into the subject. So I will stick to this. This is the basic merchant vessels that are basically trading right now around the world. Next slide. Yeah. Now this is a container ship. You have seen these containers in your countries, right? All these trucks, they carry these containers. You must be seeing this. So like one lorry or something carries one truck or two trucks, two containers maximum. So these are one of the big ship. It contains around 17,000 TEUs. That is the size of the containers. That is the volume of containers that the ship is taking. So this is how it is transported. All these containers come to a ship. From there, it goes to different countries and they offload, and then it is transported through the trucks on land. So this is how this is a major bulk cargoes that has been transported. Next slide. This is a container ship. This is one type of ship. So this is a gas ship. This is like, you know, the gases, right? Methane. The natural gas is called the methane, and then all your kitchen. In kitchen, you use gases, right? In your kitchen, so you must be having gas bills and all that, yeah. So how you are getting all these gases? So it is not available everywhere. So it is available in some resources, like it is inside the earth somewhere where they rig it out, and how you are going to transport them. So they are all transported in a liquefied form. The gas is converted into liquid, and then they are loaded onto these vessels, and then this transported to different countries for different purposes. So actually, I am trading in one of the right side vessel, right? So this is the kind of ship which I am working on right now. Next ship, next slide. So these are the LNG, LPG ships. Okay, this is this is a car carrier ship. Next slide, Banu. Yeah. So this is a car carrier. So you've seen a lot of cars on the road, right, in your countries, respective countries. So how these cars are coming to your country at first place? So they cannot come in flight. So they have to be transported through sea. So this is a type of a car carrier. So all these cars are loaded wherever the cars are manufactured in different parts of the world, like Germany, India, China, wherever the cars are manufactured, they are first loaded into these ships. So these are dedicated car carrier ships. So they load all these cars inside this, and then they go to each port, different ports, and then these cars are getting offloaded to their industry, and then it comes to your market. So this is how the cars are manufactured. Like the cars that is manufactured in Germany, like Benz and Audi, these are manufactured in Germany. So how they are coming to your place? So it is transported through the ship. This is one type of ship which carries cars. Next slide. So now we will see there is another type of vessel. This is a bulk carrier. Next slide. Yeah, this is how a bulk carrier looks. So what are the basic bulk carriers? Like it has like coal. They transport coal, the grains sometimes, the food grains, right? Which many countries they will not have their own grains, so they have to transport from a country where it is produced. Like if India is producing grains, so from India we load all these grains and then go to different parts of the world and then sell it there. So not only grains, sugar, then your coal, iron ore. So all these things are transported in. See, these are the cargo holes. All these cargoes are kept inside this cargo holes, and then they are transported to different parts of the world. Okay, next. Okay, this is an oil tanker. This is an oil tanker. Next slide, Banu. Yeah, this is an oil tanker. Come back. Yeah. So all your cars at home, they're using fuel, correct? Like diesel or petrol or whatever the fuel you're using. How you're getting all this fuel? So this is transport. It's not available everywhere. Not every country has got its own production of these fuels. So we are going to transport it from, basically it's from Saudi, from the Middle East countries or the South American countries like Venezuela. So these are the countries where there is a major oil production. They have oil wells beneath their land surface or seabed. So they extract oil from there and they load in these ships, and these ships go to each country about according to their requirements. Like for example, Japan wants oil, so we take oil from Middle East and then discharge in Japan. So Japan will use oil in different forms, whatever they want. They can use it for their cars, they can use it for depending on the product. If it is a jet oil, like for a aeroplane fuel, everything. So this is how the oil is transported. So this is a dedicated oil ships. This will carry only oil. Okay, next. Okay, so you saw different types of ships. So like in any country, there is a law, correct? Any country, there is a law, there is a constitution which you have to follow, correct? Like for transportation in your respective country, how you are going to drive your car, how you are getting your license. So all these things, it is there for maritime industry also. So this IMO, this is an organization. It is a UN body, United Nations, right? So it's one of its arm. So this is International Maritime Organization. Next slide. This is just, see, who are these guys? So this is a International Maritime Organization. So this is the headquarters is in Geneva. So this is a body that regulates. They create the rules and regulations that we have to follow. Like how we have to follow. What are the rules in different countries? How should be a sea trade? What is the route that we have to follow? And what are the regulations that we have to follow? Everything is governed. Everything, the rules, everything has been formatted by this IMO. So you see the last line. It's safe, secure, and efficient shipping on oceans. So this is the body that regulates, that forms the rules, everything, that how we have to operate the ship as an operator. So this is what is IMO. This is the main body for us. It's like a government in your country. So this is IMO. Every government will abide by this IMO regulation. This is a UN body, United Nations body. Next slide. Okay, guys. So now this is a little bit interesting. So anyone knows how does a ship float? So if anybody knows, please unmute yourself and then you can explain. Banu, you can hear me, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Is anyone interested to explain themselves how your ship floats?
It's actually a new topic for their age.
Okay. I don't know the age. That's the problem. Okay, fine. So how does a ship float? So I think once you come higher in your studies, in schooling only, you will see something like Archimedes principle. So this is a basic principle in which the ship floats, how the ship floats. What happens is, I will just explain to you a little bit, you just see the picture. So what happens is, when a body, a weight is kept on a water, so there are two forces. Next slide. There are two forces that will act on anything if you put on a water. There are two forces that will act. From the top, it is a gravitational force, and down, there is something called as buoyancy force. That buoyancy force is the Archimedes principle. What it states is, when you put this object, a phone, into the water, a bucket is full of water, and you are putting a phone in this. Some water will fall out from this bucket, correct? A bucket is full of water and I am putting a phone on the bucket, inside the bucket. So some water will flow. So that amount of water that is flow, that mass is the buoyancy force. That is the force that will be, that force, the amount of water that has gone, that mass is equal to the buoyancy force. So when a ship is built, next slide. Next slide, then we can come back. Next slide. Yeah. So you see, you can see a block of steel. If you put in a water, what will happen? It will sink inside, correct? If you put a steel, put inside, it will sink. A ship is also a steel, but it will never sink. Reason behind the shape of the ship. You see the shape? So when this big body is kept on a water, so amount of water displaces more than this block of steel. This block of steel is so small, but this will displace only little amount of water outside. But this block of ship will displace huge amount of water. So that much amount of buoyancy force will act up. So that will, as long as this buoyancy force is more than the force acting on top, the gravitation force, the ship will not sink inside. So the ship will tend to float up. Okay. Next slide one.
Yeah. This one or the next one?
Yeah. This again. What happens? A steel is 8 times. When a steel is put in a water, it is more denser, so it is tend to go down. But in ship, there is a hollow shape, right? The ship is hollow. It is only the outer hull is coming like this, and then inside it's all air. So that makes it lighter than the water. So that is why the ship will not go down. That is how it floats. Next slide one. Yeah. Okay. Now that was a basic understanding how the ship floats. Now I will tell you what is a ship. In ship, like in any office, your parents are working. There are different departments. At home, you have a department, right? Mother is something like kitchen department, and somebody is working. So something like that. Now in ship, we have different departments. One is deck department, one is engine department, and another is catering department. So deck department is the guys. It's a department. Their main objective is to navigate the vessel like a driver. The driver navigates like a pilot of an aircraft. He drives the vessel, right? So a deck officer they will navigate the vessel through the navigation. They will decide which route to take a Panama Canal or Suez Canal, or how we are going. So they decide this. So then there's another department called engine department. A ship has got an engine, right? How the ship propels? The ship has to move. So there is a propeller. So this engine department, the main objective is to keep the propeller running so that the ship moves. So that is the engine department. The next is the catering department. Catering department in ship, how we get food? The food, how we get? We don't know how to cook. So we don't have restaurants like KFC, McDonald's. We don't have it on board. So how we do that? So there is a catering department. So this catering department will have a chief cook, a dedicated cook who is going to cook the food for everyone on board. Next slide. Okay. In ship, how the hierarchy works? There is a master. Master is a ship's captain. So then a chief engineer is in charge of the engine department. Engine department is taken care by chief engineer. Then chief officer takes care of the deck department, deck side. So that is the navigation part. And there is a chief cook. A chief cook takes care of catering department. That is second cook, and he has got, this is the rank how it works. A chief engineer will have 4 more engineers under him, and then 3 helpers for him to help to complete the engine required jobs. A chief officer, same like, will have 2 officers under him, and then he will have able seaman, they call him. So he will help chief officer to maintain the deck, to do the deck jobs. And then chief cook will have a second cook plus a mess man. So that is the catering department. So this is how many people we have on board is only this much. A master, a chief officer, chief engineer, second engineer. This is the amount of people that is required, minimum people that is required to maintain a ship, to run a ship. Next. Okay, now I will briefly tell a very basic anatomy of a ship. Very basic. So a ship will have, next slide. Okay, this is how a ship will look. A ship will have this. There is a bridge where the navigation takes place. There is an accommodation where all the crew members stay in accommodation, and then there is a deck. This hull, everything, where the containers are kept, they all are on deck, and then there is a galley department. The forward of the ship is called the bow, and then the bottom is called the keel. Bottom is the bottom line of the ship. That is the keel. And then you can see a propeller after the ship, and then there is a rudder. A propeller propels. It makes the ship move. A rudder is like this. It will turn the ship. If I want to turn left side, then I will turn the right side. So we call it as port side and starboard side in ship. So the rudder, the main job of the rudder is to turn the ship, and then the main job of a propeller is to move the ship forward. This is what its job. And then you can see the bridge, you can see the accommodation, and the forward is forward part of the ship is called the forecastle, and the aft is called the stern of the ship. Next one. Okay, this is one how the engine room looks. This is a bird eye view of the engine room. So there are in this the chief engineer, first engineer, and other engine department engineers work in this room. So there are a lot of machineries in this room. We have to take care of all the machineries and make sure they are all operating correctly and maintain them daily. This is the main job of the engine room department. So this is how a ship's engine room will look. Next slide. This is a bridge. You can see here is this is how the bridge looks. From here they navigate the vessel. It's like a car's cockpit or an aircraft cockpit. So you sit here and then you navigate the vessel. You want to go which side to see ahead, everything. So it is done from here. So a lot of equipments are there which are more technical, but this is a basic. This is how the bridge looks. Next. This is engine. You have seen a car engine, right? Car engines, it's similar, but it's bigger in size, much bigger in size. It's much bigger. Actually, it almost 3-4 stories of a building. You can assume this size of this is almost 3-4 stories of a building. So this is the size of the main engine. So this is what propels the propeller. Next. So in ship also we have generators. How we get electricity in center of ocean? We don't get an electricity from the grid. So we have to generate our own power supply. So this is what it is. So from here we generate our own power, and then we get the ship live. We get the electricity on board like this from this. Next. Okay, this is a propeller. You can see that brass material, right? That golden color. That is a propeller. So that turns and makes the ship move forward. And behind that is the rudder. So that rudder turns like this according to our steering. You do car steering, right? So if you do like that, this rudder will turn accordingly. So it will turn the ship like in port side, starboard direction. So that is how, this is what is the propeller and rudder. This is a galley. You have kitchen at home, right? So likewise we have a kitchen and ship, but this is quite big. So there are 3-4 people working here. So they do food for us. So every day. So this is a department that takes care of our food for catering. So everyday meal, everything is done by this kitchen department. Next. This is one brief accommodation. How the ship's crew, their accommodation looks like. So there is individual rooms will have their own bed, their own small office. So this is how a ship's cabin crew looks like. Next. This is like a cafeteria type. So where we enjoy our food and a little bit of relaxation, TV. It's like a lounge where we have a get together, everything. So this is how a ship galley cafeteria looks like. Okay, now anatomy is over. Now I heard someone was asking about firefighting and all that. Yeah. So this is we as seafarers, we don't have a separate fire department helping us. We don't have a separate kitchen department cooking for us. So everything has to be done by us. In sea, you are an individual. It's in itself is a different world at sea. So what happens when there is a fire? So we as a seafarer, we are all trained to fight fires. Anyone who becomes a seaman has to go through these courses on land. How to fight a fire, then how to, in case a ship meets with an accident or a ship is sinking like a Titanic, it sinks down. So how to do, what we have to do. So this is one example of firefighting. In case there is a fire, we are all trained to fight the fire. Every seafarer has to be trained in himself. He before joining ship, these are the basic requirements he has to finish. He has to be a trained firefighter. So this is one picture where we also do regular drills. Every Saturday or Friday, we do drills. We do a mock drill. Like in case of fire, how to react. So we are already prepared for it. So in ship, we are always prepared for any emergencies. All the seafarers must be prepared. So we have to handle our emergencies ourselves. Nobody will come to help. In middle of Atlantic, for to get anyone any shore assistance will take almost maybe 2-3 days even for a chopper to come. A chopper cannot come. In middle of Atlantic, you are yourself. Nobody will come to for your rescue. So you have to help yourself. So we have to train ourselves. Next one. So this is a fireman's outfit that we have on ship. So every seafarer is trained to wear such an outfit in case of fire. So we have to wear this and we have to go and fight the fire. We have to do that. So if you are taking a career in marine, so be ready for all this. So this is the challenges. So you have to be trained not only for your job profile, but for all this, for to take care of everything. Because you are on your own when you are in middle of the big oceans. Okay, next. So this is one safety drill that we carry out, lifeboat drill. This is called a lifeboat drill. So what happens is we carry out this every week or once in 2 weeks. We carry out a drill considering a ship is going to break now. The ship is going to break and it's going to sink. So what we are going to do? So every 15 days we have a training. We are so that we are ready in case something happens in the night, like Titanic. In just few hours, the entire ship sunk. So many people died. Hope you all are aware of that. So in that case, what we have to do, we have got a lifeboat. So how to use that lifeboat? So you can see the lifeboat engine on the top second screen, second photo. So every week we have to lower this lifeboat in sea, not in sea. We train, we ensure this lifeboat is in good condition, and these are life jackets they are wearing, so that will not allow you to sink down. And then we have our own procedures how to do this lifeboat drill. So this every once in 15 days we practice this. So we are always ready for any emergencies. We are ready for it. Okay. Next. Yeah. Okay, guys. This is end of my slide, and this is a brief description that I can make to get to give you all a little head up on how the maritime industry is all about. Vanu?
Yeah. Thank you so much, Babu. That was a wonderful presentation. I think kids would have definitely have some insights of the basic sea stuffs. Okay, and with the questions, I think kids might have got some questions upon its presentation also. So when your turn comes, you can add on that question. Okay. So let me call upon Atira first. Atira, you are on. Can you unmute yourself? Atira? Atira, are you there in the screen? Okay, I don't know if Atira is there. May I call upon Dakshin? Is Dakshin taking the screen? Does he have any questions?
No, Dakshin is not here, I think.
Okay, then I'll call upon Kaavana. Kaavana, I think you told me that you'll be sharing your screen with some questions.
Yes.
Yes. Do you have anything to share, Ma?
Yeah.
Can you share your screen, Kaavana?
Yes. Okay, I will start.
Yeah.
Can you see my screen?
No?
I'll try again. 1 second.
Kaavana, are you working with a MacBook or anything from Apple?
Can you see now?
No, dear. No. Are you using a Mac? Yes or no? Okay, can you call upon Disha? Kaavana, I think you must share your document with me.
I will go after this. I'll share my screen.
Because you're not able to see your screen, dear. Can I call upon Disha? Kaavana, can you say Kaavana has to share her presentation with me, okay? So I'm sharing here Disha's questions. Kaavana, you can share your document with me, ma.
It's okay. I'll try to figure out how to
share. Okay. Now I call upon Disha.
Okay. I can't see your screen.
I'm sharing.
Okay. So back, please. So I have the Marina's deck questions. How long does an average journey across the sea take?
So you're asking about the entire world, right?
Probably, but what's the farthest journey you've been through?
Yeah, I've done sailing for 30 days. I started my journey from Kobe, Japan, and then I went all across Atlantic. I went to a place called Valparaiso in Chile. So that took
Wow.
32 days for us to cross the Atlantic.
Oh, interesting. Okay, next slide, please. Have you seen any women mariners?
I personally have not seen, but I know there are mariners, women who are sailing in different companies. Like my company policy is they're not taking right now any women, but I've seen companies where women seafarers are there. They have become even captains, chief engineers also.
Okay. What is the biggest challenge that you have faced in the sea?
Oh, see, biggest challenge because of sea is the weather. Weather is the biggest challenge that we have. So sometimes you must have seen in some movies that because sea can pick up storm anytime. There is no big forecast. There is a forecast for us, which we try to avoid, but we cannot avoid completely because of commercial aspects. We cannot just divert somewhere completely off course. So the weather is the biggest challenge where your ship rolls almost 30, 40 degrees. So those days you have to be ready. That is the seasickness people get, and so weather is the biggest challenge. Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you for coming.
Anything else, Disha? Hello.
No, that's it.
That's it, Disha. And what about Kaavana? Is she there with you to share something, or her document is ready?
Yeah, we are trying to share a. Maybe you go with the next one. We'll try to share in the meanwhile.
Yeah, sure. Next, can I call upon once again? I'll get the one down in line. Is Atira ready? I think she's not on board. And can I call upon Sai?
Yeah.
Yeah, Sai. Do you have a presentation to share, dear?
Yeah, I've put it in the chat.
Okay, put it in the chat once again. Which one is yours?
Wait, 1 second. I'll just put it. I think I put it in the other chat.
Means which one? Can you put it here?
Yeah, 1 second.
And what about Keerthika? Do you have something to share? Is Keerthika online?
Yeah, but I don't have something to share.
Keerthika, but do you have some questions to ask?
Yep, I've added to the chat.
Yeah,
Yes.
I do.
Yes. So now, can you do that now, Keerthika?
Yeah, I have only one question.
Yes, please.
How many countries have we crossed by ship?
Oh, okay. I never kept a count of that. Probably I have touched 50. We can say more than 50. Yeah.
Okay, thanks.
Okay.
So I call upon now Sai. I'm presenting your thing.
Yep.
This is Kaavana's once again. I've called upon Sai. Let me finish off with Sai, and he's sending me.
Yeah, it's the one before that.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's downloading. Meanwhile, I'll open Kaavana's. Kaavana, you ready?
Yep.
Yes.
So I'm going to ask you some questions about Maynard's dress. What inspired you to become a Maynard?
Okay. As during the introduction, they said it's a different challenge actually, being a mariner. So what happened was during my 10th standard, I don't know what grades work in your countries. I've been on a vessel. I went to Andamans in a ship, in a cruise ship. So that is the first time I had a little towards shipping, how the thing is. So I was inspired by how the culture of work and the challenges they have, and then it was a little more outside the books. That is what inspired me to become a trainer. it's challenging, and I like to take the challenge, so I took it, and then it all went good.
Next is how hard is it to sail the cargo ship?
How hard? So it depends on what perspective you are seeing from. See, if, of course, you have to be away from your family for quite a brief time. So it depends on your sea time, how much you got to be, sometimes 2-3 months away from family. And then that is one hard thing that you have to face here. But other than that, in ship, rest all is challenge. Even the bad weather, you can take it as a challenge, and work culture, everything. You got a multinational crew working on, and then you get to see different places and enjoy different culture, and then so these things compensate for what you miss. So the hard thing is stay away from family, and rest all I don't see as hard. Rest all is all I take it as a challenge.
How big and how heavy is the ship?
Okay, this depends on, there are different types, and you can say heavy, whatever. It's a different, each ship's, no, there are different types of vessels. So what you're talking about, see, like if you talk about a container vessel, they are huge. You see the containers that in your trucks and all they go, right? So these are very big vessels. So it may be like 300 meters, 350 meters long, and then 50-60 meters breadth. And then if you're talking about weight and everything, it's like we can call like 25,000. It's like 1 lakh tonner, 1 lakh tons, or it includes a cargo. If you're not having cargo, then that is different. So a heaviest ship probably must be 2.5 lakh tons. So if you understand what is tons.
Thank you.
Anything else, Kaavana?
No.
And Sai, I think your file is not loading. It's taking time to download, I think. Put it on download. Meanwhile, can I ask Jaswanth, because he's having a class, let him finish off. Jaswanth, are you sharing your screen?
I'm gonna share it now.
Yes, please.
Can you guys see my screen?
Yes.
Okay. So my first question is, what are the precautions will you take if there's an unexpected bad weather condition or when your ship is stuck in a storm?
Okay, see, we already have a preset precautions that we take. First thing is we have a forecast. So if there is a storm coming, we do know like a few days back before that there is going to be a storm. So first thing is we try to avoid the storm. So that depends again how big the diversion is going to be. So then commercial aspect comes. So we have to sometimes take a little bit of storm. So just you imagine when storm comes, what happens? The ship rolls, rock and roll, yeah. So all your things will go here and there. So first thing is we lash up all these things. We have to secure all these things, and then we have a set of protocol that has to be followed for heavy weather precautions protocol. So we just follow that. We take enough ballast in the tank so that the ship is enough immersed inside the water. So the more the ship is outside water, the more effect on the storm will be there. So we take more ballast. Ballast is more water, so that we go little inside the water. Not the hull goes little bit more inside the water, so that it reduces the storm effect. So these are the basic precautions that we take.
Okay. Yeah, but then what will you do if your ship is being attacked by thieves and other stuff? Because you have nowhere to go and
See now again, okay, pirates. This is a major concern, but right now they've reduced a lot all across the world. Say for example, like in my own route, so we go very close to Somalia. Somalia is a very prone to pirate attacks. So what precautions that we do is like in our company, we hire armed guards. So there are armed guards on board. These are the dedicated ex-Navy people, Navy servicemen. So they have their own guns and they bring their own equipment and they try to protect the ship. When we are crossing the pirate area, that high risk areas, so these guys are with us on board who are with a proper ammunitions. So in case there is an attack, they will attack them. So now not all companies have this. In case if the pirate still boats, since we don't have an armed guard on board, but in case if the pirate boats, so what we do is in ship we have a place called citadel. Citadel is it's like a secured room. So what we do is once the pirates come on board, we immediately everybody go inside the citadel and lock the door. So what happens is now pirate cannot breach the citadel. The citadel is a well protected place, so they cannot breach inside. So in that case, what we do, we go inside and from there we have everything like telephone, internet, everything is there inside the citadel. So we communicate with the nearest coast guard. Now, whichever country we are in, we call up the coast guard. Like we come into Indian Ocean, we call the Indian Coast Guard. Likewise, Australia has got AMSA, and then US, it got USCG, US Coast Guard. So we call up them and we inform them, and then they come for our rescue. But still, we get the ship is hijacked and goes to the pirate. Our job is to keep quiet. The pirate will negotiate with our office, and then they will maybe asking for some ransom. And then once the money is paid, that is when the pirates will release us. And luckily, till now, I have not been hijacked. So it is safe. Now things are getting better. It's not easy to hijack a ship now.
Okay, what about the conditions for the goods that you carry? Like, for example, the weight and fragility. Like, will you carry fragile items, and how much weight will the ship carry? And what are the chemicals?
Okay, this again is it has got a very broad spectrum. Again, it depends on what type of each ship is of different size and different shape. Now, if your ship is a dedicated chemical tanker, so it will carry only chemical. It cannot carry a coal, it cannot carry an oil. So likewise, if your ship is carrying only oil, it can carry only oil. It cannot take chemical. And then LPG, gas and other like containers. So the ships are dedicated for that particular purpose. And the total weight depends on the size of the vessel. It can be of any size. It depends on like we need more of crude oil in India. So we hire a bigger ship. We hire a VLCC, which is called very large crude carrier. You need a small amount of oil, then you order a small ship, a product carrier or something like that. So that it's a very broad spectrum. There are different types and sizes of vessels.
Okay. And how long does it take to build a ship? Because I learned that there are so many rooms in a ship. So how long does it take to build it?
Now okay. See, the ships are built where they are all built in shipyards. So each shipyard, some are very faster, some are very slow, and then they have their own regulations. So again, this depends on the size, what type of vessel you are going to build. You are going to build a basic ship, or you want to build an LNG tanker, or you're going to build a container vessel. So each ship will have in average you can say 2 years for a ship. An average, this is an average I'm talking about, and depends on the money the owner has. The faster you give the money, the faster the ship will be built. So these are all other commercial aspects come into play. But in general, in average, they build a ship in 2 years. It starts from the very basic design to the product to come out.
Thanks.
Okay.
Thank you, Jaswanth. May I call upon Sai?
Yeah.
Hi.
One
Yes,
is-
I think your fifth question has already been answered, right?
Yes.
Okay, then you can take upon the other four questions.
Okay. So my first question is, how does it feel to be a marine engineer?
It's very good. It's a good profession. You get a lot of professional satisfaction in being a mariner. Yes, it's very good.
Okay. My second question is, how long have you been a marine engineer?
I started in 2007, so around 14 years. I've been from my cadetship now till chief engineer. It's been 14 years.
Where did you learn engineering?
I did in one of the colleges in India. It's called Maritime Education and Training, and then I did all my exams from UK, City of Glasgow College in United Kingdom. So my license, everything is from UK.
Okay. What problems do you have when traveling on sea?
Problems, yeah. What problems do you have when traveling on sea? Sea. When the sea is calm, there is no problem. When the sea is rough, you have a rock and roll of ships. Then weather is one of the problems that we might face. And then the ship is run by machinery, right? So sometimes in the middle of the ocean, your engines may fail. Like my experience in my last vessel, we had a engine failure. So we were in Atlantic. We were going from Gibraltar, UK to Houston, US. So we were going on a ballast passage. That is, we are going to Houston to load ethane gas. So my ship engine failed in the middle of ocean. So almost 2 days we didn't have an engine. So we were drifting in the middle of ocean. So we have to carry out a repair job. We have to do a 20-hour repair job in the middle of the ocean. So we repaired it, and then we had a smooth sailing. So that is one problem. You can always have a machinery problem anytime, and weather, of course, you cannot predict. If weather is bad, then you have to face the music. Yeah.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Can I call upon Riswanth? Riswanth, can you unmute yourself? I'm presenting the screen for you.
Yeah. Hello.
Hi.
Okay. First question. What is your role in the ship?
My role, yeah, I'm a chief engineer.
One second.
Okay.
Waiting.
Okay, can I start?
I'll ask it from first. Okay. Hi.
Hi.
What is your role in the ship?
My role is I'm a chief engineer in gas vessels, and I'm in charge of the entire operation of the ship.
Okay. Next question. How do you deal with the damage that sharks and whales do?
Okay. You're seeing a lot of movies, I think. The sharks and whales do not damage the ship. The ships are too big. Again, depends on the size of the vessel. If you're in a fishing vessel, maybe a whale or shark can do some damage. But we are on a merchant vessels. These are very big. So generally, whales and sharks do not come near the vessel. They can see that such a huge vessel floating, so they try to stay away. And especially sharks and all, they never come. And then whales in some portion of the world, what we do is the whale. If you understand the whale has got a pattern of moving around the world. It depends on the ocean currents and temperature. They keep migrating. So in some season, like for example, in the winter seasons in near UK, Gibraltar, this whale the whale go across the Gibraltar Strait. So what happens is that time we slow down the vessel. So this is not because whale will damage us. It is because the vessel should not hit the whale, and then it should not make the whale afraid, so that they don't change their course. Because these are all ecological system. So the whales migrate as per the ecological currents and ocean currents. So we should not disturb their lifestyle. So we slow down and we make sure when whale crossing is there, vessel doesn't go near that. So this is to safeguard the vessel, safeguard the whales. But it's not the otherwise that whales and sharks will attack the ship. That will never happen.
Okay. Next question.
Okay, this is a good question actually. Medical emergencies. So now this you can divide into two. Medical emergency because of your health, like somebody's got a cardiac disease or something like that, and medical emergency due to accidents on board. So this is one challenge that we will face. Being a seafarer, we are trained to work in a very safe environment. Okay, so we have to be very careful. We have to take care of ourselves, like we don't get injured when we are working, and we are always trained to be skillful in our jobs. So we generally don't tend to do any mistakes. Land up where we have to have a medical emergency by accidents. But in spite of all that, things do happen. So what happens is, it depends on again where you are. We got something called as radio medical emergency channel. So this is it's a radio. We contact the shore base and ask them, okay, what happened? Like for example, somebody fell down and got his hand cut or some injury is there. So we ask them. Then we have a dedicated hospital on board, but we don't have doctors on board. So basically, what we do is we are all trained to be a medical first aid practitioners. Any officers on board, anyone who's on the officer's rank, we undergo a medical first aid course. So the basic first aid, elementary first aid and basic first aid that we are trained to do, like small stitchings, and we have a very basic knowledge of dealing with emergencies. So if we can, then we can ask for the radio medical advice, and they advise us what to do, and then we carry out on board. And then if something is very serious, then it's very unfortunate that we may have to lose the person. And then in case of health, like cardiac arrest or something else, so what happens is before joining a vessel, every seafarer goes under a medical test. So in that, a complete screening is already done for your health. All your heart, your lungs, and your kidney, everything is checked already. So once you are fit, then only you are sea fit. Only then you can go on board a vessel. But sometimes, this is something, the cardiac arrest, they don't have any reasons. So the people do die on board. So that happens. So in that case, we cannot do much. So if we just contact the radio medical advice, and it is within our scope, we can do something, we will do. If no, then it's unfortunate thing that nothing can be done. And of course, nowadays the choppers, everything is available on board. Not available on board, they can come immediately. We contact the nearby land, and then if the diversion is, the first thing is we can always divert the vessel. If any land is there, we divert the vessel towards the land and go for the medical advice. And sometimes choppers come on board, and then they pick up the person who is sick, they take him off. You can see the movies also, right? So they just come and take them. But it depends again on where you are. In middle of Atlantic, you cannot expect any chopper or someone to come and help you. So that will be an unfortunate thing. So you have to take care of yourself in most of the cases.
But I have a question here. Don't you think we should have a medical officer on board?
No, we don't have a dedicated professional.
Don't you think that we should have? Because you need to have, right? It's a medical emergency is very important.
No.
Actually.
See, now these are all commercial operated vessels. So everything comes down the lane to money and all that. So like if you have a doctor on board and we sail for 30 days, and if there is no emergency, what is the use of a doctor there? So the commercial aspects see all this. So the owners see, like maybe in 6 months, like in my vessel I had 7 months, there was no incident. So what a doctor will do for 7 months? And first he will not be ready to be on board also for 7 months. So these are the challenges that they have, and basic needs, basic medicines, everything is there on board. Which can happen on board is what? Maximum we can have some injury, falling down, strip and strip fall. So these things we can handle a little bit. That is not a problem. And nowadays, like it's only a brief of 1 week that we are in middle of Atlantic, or else every time there is a shore nearby. So we can always divert the vessel towards the shore and then get treated.
Okay, thank you. Can I have Kairavi Nayyar? Do you have some questions, Kairavi? Kairavi?
Hi. Yes.
Yeah, hi. Do you have something to present, or you're just going to question?
I will just question.
Yeah.
1 moment. In a big marine, how many minimum containers can fit?
Oh, again, yeah, minimum you're talking about. So this is again different. There are different sizes of container vessels. Like it's called a TEU. So there is a 17,000 TEUs, and then there is even a 5,000 TEU. And then I think now the biggest is I think 18,000. I'm not sure because I'm not with this particular container trade, but I think 18,000 TEU from the Maersk line. That is the biggest.
Okay. So, what are the weathers the ships can go through?
Come again, please.
What are the weathers the ships can
what are the
weathers the ships can go through?
but I'm not clear. Can you just tell me?
Kairavi, can you put it on chat because we are not able to understand what you're saying. Can you put your questions on chat? Meanwhile, I'll ask Miruthula. Hi, Miruthula.
You can hear what she says. Actually, I'm not able to hear. Maybe you can hear.
Yeah, even I'm not able to hear what Kairavi is asking. Can you put the questions on chat? And even if Bhairavi asks, can you both put the questions on chat? Can you hear me? And what about Miruthula? Do you have any questions?
Yes, I have. Just going to question.
Yeah.
So my first question is it difficult to become a marine engineer?
What is it?
Is it difficult to become a marine engineer?
No, it's not difficult. It's like any other engineering stream you take. If you're interested, after your schools, you can always take career in marine engineering. Not a problem.
Okay.
Job, if you're asking, depends on the perspective you're seeing. You have to stay away from family and all that. Yeah, then that is a challenge that people have.
Okay. And then what types of marine vessels have you worked on before? And in that, which is the most challenging for you?
Okay, I have worked, basically I work in oil and gas ships, and I have done a container vessel also. Difficulty I faced, probably the container vessel. Container vessel are little busy schedule. The schedule is very busy actually. The oil and gas, they're not so busy, but more technical advanced vessels are gas vessels. So that thing is there, but difficult is container vessel. I cannot say it's difficult, but it's a little bit of extra work that you have to do there.
Okay. Then what do you enjoy the most about being a marine engineer?
Enjoy the most. Like, see, the job itself is very challenging, and I like to take the challenge. It's not like a daily 8 to 5 job where you have a monotonous routine. So you don't have that. So every day there's a different challenge, and every day is new for you. And then the sea always keeps you busy. And then what I enjoy is when you work, you're more dedicated to your work, and when you're off, like right now I'm off, nobody's disturbing me. So 3 months I'm full of, so that is a good part. And you'll never have a common boss. They keep changing.
Okay. This is my last question. As a marine engineer, what do you do on a daily basis?
Hello.
Okay, this is a good question. Again, marine engineer, like engine department has got different ranks. So cadet, a trainee marine engineer, then there is a fourth engineer, then a third engineer. So it's all up the ranks. First you became a trainee marine engineer, then you became a fourth engineer, then you became a third, then you became first engineer, and then you became a chief engineer. So everyone's role is very different. Now my job as a chief engineer is to make sure these ranks below me are performing their jobs. And then performing the jobs, at the end of the day, we all want a very safe ship, and my engine is always, and my machineries, everything is performing well. This is what is my main objective.
Okay. That's all my questions.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I have a few more questions. They have sent us this doesn't suit their time zone, so they have sent us some questions.
Okay.
Can I share my screen? Yes. Yes. How does the tanker steer?
See, any ship steering is the same principle. You have a main engine that rotates the propeller. When the propeller rotates, the ship goes forward, and then you have a steering, and then a steering operates a rudder. So you turn, you take left, you take right, so the rudder turns accordingly, and then it changes the course of the ship. So only the straight is done by the propeller, and then the turning is done by the rudder. So these are any ship is same. It's not only tankers. Any ship it's the same.
Okay. The next line is, what do you do if the propellers fail?
Okay, this is a good question. Our main job is to make sure the propellers never fail. So that is why we are there on board. We make sure that everything is working, and then this is our main job to keep the ship moving, to keep the propellers running. So we are there in case if the propeller stops for some other reason, for some unknown reason. So our job will be to find out what is the reason and rectify it. We can always ask for shore assistance, and if it's within our scope, we carry out the repair jobs and make the ship and get the ship propellers back to turning.
Yeah, thank you. And I think the third question has already been answered. Like, what do you do if there is a fire on board? It was It was already answered by you.
Trained fires.
Pardon me?
We or a seafarer, any seafarer has to be trained to fight the fire. So we foresee it. So we know how to handle it.
Okay. So these questions were by Johan, who is in 8th grade. And now I've got the questions of Sachi Nayyar. Can you post the questions? I put it on screen. Sachi?
Yeah, she
I have the questions.
I think
Yeah.
she has shared already.
Yeah. Yes. I have the questions on screen. Yeah.
See again, minimum how many containers can fit on a big marine? Okay, big marine container vessels can have almost 17,000 TEUs. So that is the number of containers that TEU is also a size, different size of containers. 17,000 TEU, almost the bigger container vessels can carry, and not many are there. This is the Maersk line, one of the biggest shipping company has this 17,000 TEUs. What are the weathers? So what are the weathers the good ship can go through? Okay, so a ship basically is built for the worst weather that it can face. It's while somebody is building a ship, they keep in mind what is the weather, what is the worst weather condition that the ship can be put into. So it has to be ready for any ocean-going vessel must satisfy all these weather conditions. So they have their own structures built accordingly. So they have to handle these conditions. Only then the ship will be certified to go ocean-worthy, or else the ship can never go inside the ocean. How many ships can leave in one day?
From the port, is it?
No, this question, how many ships can leave in one day? See, as long as a ship, any ship, like in a port, for example, there can be 5 ships. So 5 ships will be there. If all the 5 ships have done their job, they all can 5 can leave. There is no limitations on all this. It only depends on the availability of the pilot who will take the ship from the port to the sea. And then any prevailing weather conditions. If everything is good, if weather is good, the pilots are available, then there is no restriction for number of ships that has to leave the port. What is the age limit of merchant marine? I said this again depends on. This is standard set by each company. Like my company says you can work till 65, and then still if you show your there is no, but it is not like government job. 60 you have to retire. If 65 your still your health conditions are accepting, then the company is okay with it, then still you can say that is not a problem. As far as your license is concerned, there is no restriction. Every 5 years you have to keep validating your license. That's it.
Okay. Is that done, Sachi? Yes. And I have a few more questions which has already been answered during the anatomy slide. So, and just few more questions. Few more questions are there. What is AFT?
See, AFT is aft. It's like you say forward, right? Forward is FWD. So it's a short form of aft. Aft behind the vessel. That is what it is.
Okay.
Aft.
Okay. So what is bow and what is brow has already been shared, and hull is also shared. So what is a stem?
No, it is not stem. It is called stern. I think that there is a spelling mistake or something. Stern.
Okay.
Stern is aft side. Your aft side is the stern, and the front is called the bow. Aft is the stern of the vessel and bow of the vessel. Okay.
So, and these are the last set of questions. This is from Kanishka, Shri, Neelakandan, US. So, what is the greatest sea animal you have seen or caught? That's quite interesting. Even we would like to know about it.
No, I've seen whales, but I've not caught any whales, any fishes. But I've seen whales. A whale is the biggest, and then normally we get to see dolphins. because dolphins tend to come along the vessel. Whenever a dolphin sees a human, probably it gets an affinity towards us, so they travel with us to quite a distance. So dolphins we regularly see. Whales I've seen in Atlantic, and cod, not cod. I've not done that, but we just catch some small fishes when we are in anchorage. So those are very small fishes, so nothing big.
Okay.
How many years does it take to learn how to drive a ship? Okay, this is. See, now I can take your question as how many years it will take to become a captain who is in charge of driving the vessel. So it will take, once you start your career, then to achieve a captain's position, it will take around 15 years. 10 to 15 years is what an average seaman takes from start of career to become a master of the vessel. So how to drive there within, I think, initial training time only they know how to drive the vessel. But then to get the full command of the vessel, it takes 15 years. How many
Okay.
places have you ever been to and what was your favorite? How many places? See again, how many places I've been? I never kept a count of that, but I've gone to every continent other than Arctic and Antarctic. I've been to all the continents. I've been to Australia. In Australia, I've been to Sydney, Adelaide, Melbourne. All these places I've seen. Then New Zealand, I've been. Then in US, most of the US, even the east and west coast, I've gone to many places in the both on the east and west. Then Africa, Nigeria, and Europe. I've been to many places. The UK, Germany, France, Italy. So all these places I've covered. My favorite is I liked Valparaiso in Chile, which was quite it was a different experience. And then in city, I like San Francisco, US is much better than much. But I think basically all the cities look the same. Sydney and San Francisco, almost infrastructure and all was same, but San Francisco was good. And then West is then even the Bahamas. Islands in Bahamas, they are also very beautiful. They are very natural places to go and visit.
Okay, good. So any other questions? Any other questions from anyone? Actually, I'm very happy to see many girls on board. Normally for Miran, I think from the girl side, it would be contribution from the girl side will be very less. But I'm very happy to see many girls in the event today.
No, even in our career, the things are changing. I've seen now a lot of girl students taking up the marine course. Not only in India, but even other places also. I've seen a lot of people taking this challenge because now the job perspective is not only on ships. Now, once you get experience on ships, then you have other your horizons open in many other fields as well. So that is how they take it.
Okay. And Sachin Nair, I think you have raised your hand. Do you have something to ask?
Yes, I've shared some questions in the chat. Can I please say them?
Yeah, yes. Last set of questions, and she's the last one to participate now. Yeah, how many kilos can fit in a ship at once? Kilos, huh?
How kilos? See, now I'll explain you. We talk in tons. Tons is the word that we talk. So almost 1,000 kilos is 1 ton. Correct? 1,000 kilos will make 1 ton. So an average ship, even the smallest vessel will take maybe 10,000 ton, 10,000 tons, and biggest will take even 250,000 tons. So that is how 250,000 into 1,000 kilos is what we carry.
Okay. Which year did sea trade start? I think it was in your presentation, right? 1970 or something?
The sea trade start, this is one of the oldest profession in the world actually. Sea traders in 16th century, they started the first vessel that started. They're all in the 16th century. So this is one of the oldest profession, oldest and the longest profession manhood can never had. This is the trade ever started.
Okay. So how long does it take to get a job? And he's not a captain, he's a chief engineer. So how long does it take to get a job as a captain? I think if you can share some insights on it, yeah, fine.
Yeah.
So you're not a chief engineer, yeah.
Almost similar ranks, but chief engineer is on the engine department. Captain goes a little one step ahead. He becomes in charge, and then he's more into the navigation department. So how long it takes to get a job of a captain? So you never get a job as a captain directly. Once you graduate from your college, you don't become a captain. So you again start as a cadet, then you become a third officer, then second officer, then chief officer, then you become a captain. And in between these steps, you have to give all exams. You just don't go by experience. You become a cadet, then you give an exam, you finish your sea time, give an exam, you become a third officer. From third officer, you become a second officer, and then you give an exam, then you become a chief officer, and then chief officer gives another exam. License, these are all license. Only then he becomes a captain. So this whole process takes 10 to 15 years to become a master after you graduate.
Okay. So what, and this is, I don't know whether someone could answer this question. So maybe what is the captain's salary? I don't think it's a chief engineer's salary they're asking for.
No, captain's salary and chief engineer salary is all same actually, not much of difference. Because they're all in salary wise, they all come under the same category. So what is your salary of being a captain? Can I reveal it here? I'm not sure. Okay, I will just give a rough estimate. A monthly basis, they get around 15,000 USD.
Okay.
That again depends on which ship you are in. Gas ship has got better salary. LNG, if I'm in an LNG trade, so that has got a better salary. If you are in a container vessel, then your salary is little less. Then so you can somewhere calculate between 10 to 15. So this is how you land up in whatever ship you are sailing with.
Okay. So I think the question session ends here. So we are towards the end of the program. The event was definitely a smooth sail. And thank you, Babu, for the sea voyage. I had a chance to get to know your profile, at least through this event. We haven't discussed that earlier in our life. And hope this event has given our kids insights on sea travel. And my best wishes to each one of you to have more and more voyages to explore and excel in the chosen platform. And I would also like to share that the event at Ganivas Academy goes with a cause. Those little contributions from the piggy bank of our kids will feed the one in need. And these guys will definitely have their heartful wishes and blessings as a token of their love. Thank you so much, each and everyone. And once again, thanks, Janarthan, for joining us today for this event. And definitely, it was very helpful to our kids. Thank you so much. And thank you, my dear kids, for your valuable questions.
Yeah, thank you and everyone. The way you guys interacted, it was very nice. And then all the very best in your future endeavors. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Bye-bye. Thank you. Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.